And it's time for the data dive.
I've been waiting all day.
Nerd out. There's a lot of misinformation out there about polls, but when you look at the real stuff, the track record over the arc of history, sorry Thomas E. Dewey, especially in presidential elections, has been remarkably good. So let's talk a little bit about what makes a good poll and what makes a bad poll and how we make up our own average. Now, polling averages are a lot more useful in a lot of ways than individual polls themselves, since it controls for the occasional outlier and puts more data in the hopper. The lines are smoother. As I like to tell Dana, a polling average is like a delicious Slim Jim. All kinds of polling meats mixed together into one savory smoked sausage.
It's the best podcast ever.
So let's look into what's going into our survey Slim Jim and what we're leaving out. Okay, here's a list of the 10 most recent national polls on the presidential race. No big outliers here. Everybody seems to agree that it's a close race, but some of the polls here are suspect. For example, you can't really rely on what we call robo-polls anymore because they're not allowed to call people on their cell phones. And more than a third of voters are cell phone only now. So we can drop out Rasmussen reports and Gravis marketing. So now it's getting a little clearer. We can also shuck the polls that are internet-based. Why? Now look, internet, don't get angry at me. That's not to say that there isn't a bright future for internet-only polling, but internet access remains an issue for poor voters, older voters, and individuals, probably like every human being seated here, that just don't feel comfortable with the idea of responding to an online solicitation. So we can drop a poll from The Economist/YouGov, Reuters Ipsos, NBC News SurveyMonkey, which
You do not like the SurveyMonkey.
Well, why name it Monkey? If you want people to believe it's a good poll, why are you calling it the SurveyMonkey? Yeah. But do you know what almost everybody in America has? A dadgum telephone. The business of opinion research has been fortunate for the last 60 years or so. Telephones have had broad and deep saturation into American households and have proven remarkably reliable means for gauging public opinion. Yes, in the era of caller ID, it is getting harder to get folks to pick up the phone. But this is still the best and most reliable way to do business. Ask these shamefaced online pollsters who blew the Brexit vote in Britain, or the online hybrid poll blends that broke down in their britches over the 2014 midterm elections here. Only human callers using a mix of landlines and cell phones can capture the right mix of voters. So what's left? And you see our wonderful Fox News poll, the CBS NYT, Quinnipiac University, ABC News WAPO, and CNN. And we don't want to reach back too far. That could skew the average too. So it's just those 5 most recent polls from those wholesome, delicious, wonderful pollsters. And ta-da! There's your polling average. Hillary Clinton is 1.2 points ahead nationally. That's how you make a Slim Jim.